Did you know that according to the U.S. Geological Survey, it takes 1,800 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat? That's basically the equivalent of 50 full bathtubs. Also, according to PETA, if you were to give up 1 pound of meat, you would be saving more water than if you gave up showering for 6 whole months. While it is important to recognize that PETA and USGS are pro-animal rights and vegan diet organizations, they still raise an important alarm about the problems caused by meat diets. Not only does meat consumption have a devastating effect on water usage, it also leads to the tearing down of acres of rainforest in order to support meat production. This is a scary reality of the environmental impact of meat consumption and culture. From colonial America to the post-revolutionary period to 20th century industrialization to present day, meat production has increased throughout the history of America, and its devastating environmental impact has increased with it. The long-standing American belief about meat consumption is that it is the natural, default way of eating. Many Americans cannot even fathom alternative diets to an animal diet. When industrialization and corporate interests came into play, the culture surrounding meat production and consumption started on its path of unsustainability. With focus on profit, these new corporate meat packers attempted to produce meat at the largest scale possible. Now, in the present day, meat consumption is very prevalent and ingrained in American and global culture. In an age where our environment is facing many troubles, meat production has many devastating impacts. Evidence suggests that livestock agriculture is responsible for an estimated 18% of worldwide greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, the total water footprint equals 29% of the global agricultural production. All of this evidence points towards a clear problem of meat diets and culture affecting our environment, which raises the question, what can we do to fix this? One answer is a vegan diet. Vegan diets answer many of the issues raised by meat diets. As previously stated, a meat diet makes up 29% of the global agricultural production. A vegan diet has the lowest effect on the global water supply, requiring 14.4% less fresh water and 20.8% less groundwater than the omnivorous diet. Just imagine if this was done by a majority of people. The water usage on food would decrease dramatically. The amount of water that we use in meat diets has caused a water shortage, as we are starting to run low on usable water for us and animals in the environment. In addition to water usage, a vegan diet can help address the effect on climate change that meat production has. One research study shows that food consumed by high meat eaters is associated with 2.5 times more greenhouse gas emissions than that consumed by a vegan, and even average meat eaters are responsible for twice as many greenhouse gas emissions. Switching to a vegan diet is a relatively easy way to address many of the problems caused by our current food culture. According to Project Drawdown, transitioning to a plant-rich diet is the number 4 solution out of 100 to reducing total atmospheric CO2. So, let's talk about what you as an individual can actually do to help the environment and solve the issues caused by meat consumption. While it may be hard to believe, just one person doing their best to cut out meat and living a vegan lifestyle can have an effect on the environment. The consumption of meat has been so normalized in American society that the consequences have been completely disregarded, and most people probably don't even know the true effect that it has on the environment. Realistically, cutting out meat entirely is somewhat unreasonable after growing up on meat your whole life. Going vegan is a huge transition and often requires more money than the average diet. However, everyone can start somewhere. Participating in things such as Meatless Monday can make huge strides in starting the initiative to go vegan. The idea of Meatless Monday uses a psychological foot-in-the-door technique to encourage people to change their eating habits. By starting with a small commitment such as not eating meat for 1 day a week at first, one then has the initiative to take a bigger step of making a larger commitment in the future. One example of this taking place is in France, where a campaign titled Green Monday was launched in 2019. The campaign gained recognition by French news sources, public television, and radio broadcasts, spreading awareness all across the country of the dangers of a meat diet. By filling out a questionnaire, participants were emailed every Monday with reminders to avoid meat products and were asked their thoughts about a meatless diet. Only 1 month after the campaign launch, there were 24,507 participants, 86.1% of who agreed to cut out meat and fish once a week. The Green Monday campaign in France is a great example of spreading awareness of the environmental effects of a meat diet and inspiring citizens to make a real change in their lifestyles while being held accountable. The unfortunate reality is that society as a whole faces many obstacles stopping us from living a vegan lifestyle. Some of these obstacles include food deserts, poverty, limited access to vegan products due to communal dining, and more. If completely going vegan is too much of a financial burden or lifestyle change, there are ways to start small, like participating in a vegan diet once a week, like Meatless Monday, or committing to a vegan meal once each day. These small actions add up to make a difference. According to Susie Amos Cameron in the OMD plan, one vegan meal a day can slash our personal water and carbon footprint by about 25%. Even just spreading awareness about the environmental effects of meat consumption can help change society's perspective on a carnivorous lifestyle. When it comes to environmental issues, it is important to remember that even when it doesn't feel like it, every individual can do their part to make a difference.